right, so we're at the end of a lot of projects with this car. So it's pretty much going to be a good daily driver. We have the big 996 brakes in the front. And the 6-liter engine's all in there and running fine. Messing with the tuning a little bit to try to get it to run. It's a little challenging to get it to run really good at very low speed. So that's something we're tinkering with a bit. We'll get it figured out. But two of the last things that we were going to fix were the odometer gear, because the odometer didn't work. And I think when I did the last video, there's a shot of the car stopping in the driveway here, and I noticed the brake lights weren't on, so had to dive in and figure that out. That had something to do with, ironically, our horn and our that is now hooked up to the cruise control lever. So pulled some stuff apart today, and it went better than I would have ever expected. I had to pull the dash, well, not the dash, but the insert in here, you know, where all the vents are and stuff. And I pulled the instrument cluster out, which is these 4 screws on either side of the cluster. And I pulled the speedometer out because normally it's a broken or worn out or whatever gear on the odometer drive. The original ones, I guess they made that as the failure point. They wanted it to break there rather than someplace in the mechanism, so they made them a little softer than the other gears. And what happens when they're 30 plus years old like these are, they literally just fall apart. There's plenty of YouTube videos on people showing you how to do that, so we're not going to do that here. So I took this out and was kind of surprised when I got in there. The odometer gear has been replaced and there was nothing wrong with it. But I'm pretty sure what had happened was when I had this apart to when I was trying to figure out how to drive the tack, I had this all out and figured out all the tack wiring and everything, and now, I mean, all the gauges work normal now. And I must have put the speedometer back in without one of the O-rings. Well, they're not really O-rings, they're kind of rubber spacer things. It's held in, the speedometer is held in with 3 screws, and around the posts that the 3 screws go into on the speedometer, there are these rubber rings. They're actually rubber spacers. And what happens then, if you forget them or, you know, put 2 in like I did, the trip meter reset, which is a solenoid with a pin that pops out and just kicks the thing so it resets, it gets jammed in there. So what I found when I got in there was that the motor and the gears were actually jammed. It just wasn't turning. So I pulled the motor off and checked it out. The motor seemed to be fine. Put it all back together, made a new rubber spacer out of a piece of like 1/8-inch hose. I just cut it to the same thickness as the other ones, and cleaned everything up and put it all back together. And now my odometer works fine. My trip meter works fine. And for those of you who don't know, this is the trip meter reset button here. It's a little, you can't actually push it in far enough with your finger. You got to push it in further. So, but anyway, on the vent, there's a, well, here's the vent right here. Just sitting on the floor. I just got back from a test drive. I didn't want to put this all together yet. Here you got these deflector things, and then something that looks like a deflector thing, but this is actually, when you put it in, this actually goes right over here and pushes in this little button. So pushing that in is your trip meter reset. Oh, break it. There we go. A little spring-loaded thing that looks like one of the vent things. So yeah, in case you were wondering how you reset your trip meter, that's how you do it on one of these. And I have this the dash little column opened up now because I had to figure out our wiring, but we're back in business. The horn still honks. Brake lights work now. And she's all good to go. Alright, so we've got our odometer all working and everything now, and horn works, brake lights work, big brake upgrade done. And we're gonna take a Sunday drive over to visit Colekirk. So we'll see how well this thing does on that drive. Should be fine. I mean, nothing's really wrong with it anymore or anything. It's pretty well ready to go. Across the little one-lane bridge over here. Sure nobody's coming the other way. That's a nice thing. You can really kind of lug this down to like 1400 RPMs in fourth gear, and it doesn't seem to mind it. So that's good. We still got to do a little more tuning down at the, the below 2000 RPM mark. Because it should just be able to pull out like this, put it in second, slowly like that, and not have the thing, bucking back and forth, and you should be able to have the throttle plate a little more closed, so you're completely controlling the idle with the idle air control valve. across the one-lane bridge. Go on up the hill. But he said, wow, this thing does not, the videos do not do it justice at all. You can't feel any of the acceleration G's or the side load G's or anything watching the video, so he was pretty impressed.